Welcome to the BumbleKast. I'm your host, Ian Flynn, the Bumble King, and joining me as always is my Bumble co-host, Kyle, JCRB Kraus.
So, Ian,
Kyle,
when were you going to tell me about all these things that have all of a sudden happened over the last few days? All this past week, last half of last week has been. It's been a heck of a thing, man. What were you gonna tell me? You didn't tell me anything, man. I know nothing. You kept me completely in the dark forever. Like, how do you do this to me?
I don't know how I'm able to do it at all because it makes me wonder. That's why I do hashtag knowing the smile, Kyle. That is the only venting that I can do.
And if you're wondering what we're talking about, I'll let Ian explain.
Yes. I am writing for Sonic Frontiers, the new game that is being produced by our good friends Sega, that is due out sometime holiday 22 currently.
Wow.
I'm excited to be a part of the team, to collaborate with Sega to create the game story, and I hope everyone enjoys it when it comes out. And that's all I'm going to be able to say because I am under strict NDA. Like, I cannot tease, I cannot hint, I cannot squash rumors. I can't talk about it at all. Not even a hashtag knowing smile hint of anything. I've got to be super 100% locked down. Nothing. So, if you submit a priority Q&A, sorry, I'm going to have to tell you that I can't answer it. When we do the live chats, sorry, I'm not going to be able to answer you there. It's just, I got to be super locked down about it. The amount of hype I am seeing for this is literally overwhelming. So thank you everyone so much for all your well wishes and all of your excitement. Welcome all you new subscribers who have come since the news. It's honestly hard to process it all, but it is nice for that information to finally be out there because I've been sitting on this for a long time and all I've been able to do is that freaking knowing smile.
But not even that, because we've gotten a few questions where people have been like, how would you approach this if you were writing a Sonic game? Or what how would you feel if you were writing a Sonic game? We've got a few questions about writing Sonic. We've had a few questions about you getting the chance to write a Sonic game when the whole time we've been sitting here like, he's writing a Sonic game, so how are we going to approach this one?
Very, very carefully. But
yeah,
it's out there. Follow all the official social and news channels for the latest information. It's not going to be able to come from me. And, sit tight because here we go. Now the long wait begins for it to come out and everyone to hopefully have a great time with it.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, what I can't talk about, because I don't have a hand in it, is the movie, and holy crap, how about that trailer?
Oh boy. Oh boy. I'm just glad we're getting this movie at all because, if they had gone with the original design, this wouldn't have happened. This would not have happened. We'd not have a number 2. There'd be no number 2.
It's so weird because there's a handful of occasions where the sequel is better than the original. And I think we can tell right now that this is going to blow the original out of the water.
Yes.
Like, there's nothing really wrong with the original. It's cute. It's a fun introduction to a new version of Sonic. It has a lot of high points. I enjoyed it a lot. This is going to be the good stuff.
This is the setup. Yeah, the first movie was the setup. This is the payoff.
Oh my God. I know everyone is zeroing in on it, but that Knuckles scene, man.
Yep.
Oh, I was a kid again. That's me going into Hidden Palace for the first time, trying to spin, going, wait, you can fight Knuckles? Trying to spin dash, and he blocks my spin dash, and I'm like, oh my God, he can block a spin dash. That is the movie trailer.
Oh yeah.
That moment. That
Oh, delicious.
And that's just the cherry on top because everything else is delicious.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's a smorgasbord of great stuff. We got the freaking I didn't think we'd get the tornado.
We got Tails with the tornado, yeah.
I mean, yeah, we knew about Tails. Yeah, we knew about Knuckles, but we get the freaking tornado.
Yep.
We get a Chaos Emerald of some sort. I'm not going to speculate on what all it is, but we know there's some big shiny green thing.
Mm-hmm.
We get freaking legitimate badniks like the Buzz Bombers that they were showing off.
Yep.
Mwah!
And the proper nearly proper Eggmobile. A
Dude,
more modernized boomy
sick.
a modernized movie version of it. Yeah, it looks awesome. This is well and truly a Sonic movie now, I think. It's like,
Jim Carrey gets to go full on psycho Eggman now.
Yes.
I am like, it's so weird because the first movie I had such trepidation.
Mm-hmm.
And this one I am legit super hyped for.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it for sure. I just want to see it. I just want to see Knuckles. Let's see my boy Knuckles. We know.
Yeah, just get the Knuckles cut. Just the Knuckles scenes.
The bad thing is, though, is that, I mean, as Sonic fans, we kind of already know what the story is and what's going to happen. But, you know, I think that's really secondary just for the spectacle of going to see a big budget Sonic movie that actually is a proper Sonic movie, as in it integrates so much of the things we love. So, you know, that's
a fresh
that's
take
just
on
kind of the thing. Yeah, it's like we know kind of how the story goes with Knuckles and with Eggman and Sonic, but I don't know, man. It's just gonna be fun to see it in this incarnation.
It's been so long since Sonic and Knuckles were straight up rivals,
Right? Mm-hmm.
Straight up enemies, I should say.
Yeah.
We haven't had that since the 90s, so to see this again, just punch him into the yard after just like walking him back with that swagger. Oh my god. Okay. This show is going to be nothing but me going nuts about Knuckles if we don't move on to the Q&A.
Idris Elba said he wasn't making Knuckles sexy. That was a lie.
We knew that wasn't going to work.
No, that was not. That's impossible because it's Idris Elba. He can't turn that off.
I think if you stand within 2 feet of the man, you look more attractive just by his aura.
Even just his voice. I mean, he's not actually on screen, but he still has that presence because, you know, it's his voice.
Yeah. No, he's
man. Oh, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun movie. I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Do you think I need your power? Oh my god.
It's such a good line for Knuckles too. It's like, oh, finally,
the look of scorn and arrogance, and but it's not even arrogance because he knows he can back
just
it up.
That confidence,
that deliberate step for. Yeah, okay. Let's. This is a priority Q&A.
Yeah.
Let's Q&A.
Yeah, let's not beat around the bush more. Let's go ahead and get into this. Let's get into the questions. People have questions. And
yes.
Some of these questions we can answer, but only some. All right. Without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into the priority Q&A. Starting with this first one from Strawberry Cheesecake. I heard you're doing the writing for the Sonic Frontiers game, and I saw that there was speculation that the female voice that was heard in the trailer for the game was in fact Amy's voice. Is this true? I really hope it is Amy and not some random ghost girl, to be honest.
Strawberry Cheesecake, I believe this is the first time that you've asked something on the show, and the first time you have patronized the show. So thank you so very much for your support. I cannot answer that at all. I'm so sorry.
And just to reiterate for you guys who skipped the intro, jumping directly to the Q&A, we cannot talk about Sonic Frontiers. Nothing. Not a word. We've officially, from this point forward, after this question, we are banning the word Frontiers and Frontier from our show. We're also
Except for the next question.
We're also banning the word Sonic.
Let's not go too crazy. Okay. We won't have much of a show.
Okay, you're right. I'm kidding. We can still mention the word frontier. All right. And we got another one here from Hero of Light 13. So, how do things work now? Have you already contributed your part to Frontiers, or is it an ongoing process? What happens to the comics? What happens with the BumbleKast? What happens to the games? The Lost Hedgehog Tales, the Pizza Cutter, the Toaster, the everything. What's happening?
All right, let's very delicately pick this one apart because we're not talking about the game. Just set that one aside. Comics are continuing to just going to do their thing. The comics are not affected by the game right now because it's still a ways away. So we're fine. Don't worry about that. We're trucking along. BumbleKast, same thing. It's not going to affect the show at all. I might have to be a little more careful with my word choice here and there. And obviously, we're not talking about the game, but the show itself will remain unchanged. Games, well, there's only the one that we're not talking about. Lost Hedgehog Tales still on indefinite hiatus because there's something unrelated that I'm waiting to happen. Pizza Cutter, I am mad I didn't buy that when I had the chance. Toaster, I have that displayed at home. The everything, you're getting a little beyond my scope. What's happening? Rarely do I even know.
I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening at all. I can't tell. What are we talking about? Anyway.
I think we're answering questions.
Oh. Weird. All right. Here's this one from Scurvy Pirate Hog. We do know that Shadow got his powers thanks to a blood transfusion from Black Doom. But what would happen if someone got injected with Shadow's blood? Would they get powers? What would happen?
I don't think it was a blood transfusion so much as Gerald got Black Doom's DNA to work from. Because the BioLizard was his initial attempts to create the ultimate life form, and it just wasn't working. The life support system to keep it running became too cumbersomely large and external. It was growing out of control. It wasn't working. And the coding within the Black Arm's DNA was the cheat sheet that he needed to condense and make it work. And that's what resulted in the nice little compact unit that is Shadow. What would his blood do to somebody else? I don't know. Like, I don't even know what his true basis is. Is he like a hybrid Mobian Black Arms thing? Yes, I know Mobian's not the official term, but I'm using it anyway. Is he like pure Black Arms that's just been tinkered with? Like, what is his base genetic style? You know, does he just look like a hedgehog, or is there some intermingling? I don't know. There's a lot of other questions to be answered first before we can go on to say how would his blood affect somebody else.
He can go super, so I'm assuming he is hedgehog in some
That's a point.
In some nature, because that's what Sega said. Only male hedgehogs can go super, and he can go super. So
I mean, Black Doom kind of went super too, but Devil Doom is way different than a metallic hedgehog transformation. So I think you're onto something there.
Well, I mean, Blaze also has gone super well, except she's called
Burning.
Is
different.
And
Burning is different. It's so
and on Blaze's world, only female cats can go super. Maybe that's how it works. They can go blazing. They can go burning, not blazing. I don't think so. Well, maybe that. I don't know. I think there needs to be like a whole exploration of that, Sega. A whole exploration of Blaze, Sega. Let Ian do it. Let Ian do it. All right. Here's a question from Ian Waffles, your arch nemesis. I know you've said you were a fan of the Archie Sonic comic before you became the writer. What exactly did you like about it? Regardless of if feelings have changed over the years on any of the material, what did past Ian love so much, and how did that affect what you wrote at the time?
Because this was way back in the day when there was no globalization of the brand.
Mm-hmm.
And, there was not a ton of internet access. So all my knowledge of Sonic was, the games that we got and the cartoons. And so there was a ton of questions and narrative to be explored, and the comics did that.
Right. Yep.
They took stuff from the cartoons and spun it in different directions. They explored character dynamics beyond what the cartoons did. It took, what was there and went wild with it. And it was, everything was a new discovery. It was a new advancement of the story. And, I was there for it because I like Sonic, and this was more Sonic and more stuff about his world and exploring that and the people around him. And so when I came onto the book, it was kind of like, okay, now I get to add to that myself. What questions remain unanswered? Where have we not been yet? How can we take this to feel a little more Sonic-y, but still feel like everything that came before matters? And that's where I was kind of going when I first came on.
Yeah, absolutely. There's definitely a lot of stuff from early on in the Archie days where I can look back on it now and be like, yeah, that's kind of silly. That's weird and goofy. But overall, it did a lot for Sonic. And as a kid, I remember reading the comics and just being absolutely enamored with them because it was like storyline and there were characters and things were cool and Sonic was being cool and fast, but then also other stuff was happening around him and it was neat and interesting and it was like the cartoon, except even more. There was more to it than just the cartoon. It was just it was exciting, I think. And as a Sonic fan and as someone who grew up on basically loving Sonic, it was as a good time. It's a good time. Definitely a formative book. All right, let's get into the question from Noni. How much do we have to donate to the Patreon to have an episode where we ask Dr. Starline questions and Ian has to respond in character? I love this idea.
I'm not sure how we would set the metric, but that's more or less a guest episode, so to speak. So I don't know. Kyle, if we can figure out a way to, make it clear that we've set a $100 benchmark and people want to push towards that, sure, why not?
Patreon.com/BumbleKast. Keep putting in your quarters over there and let's see what comes out.
If you submit a coffee over at coffee.com/BumbleKast and, put a note on there saying this is for Ask Dr. Starline special episode. If we hit, we'll hit $100 and I will go in character for a full session.
Sure. Why not? Let's do it. Let's do it.
Decide on an actual voice for the guy.
Well, I mean, you kind of already, you slip into that voice. You just, it's kind of like your normal voice, but,
Yes,
more.
But Kyle, if I'm going to do it, I must do it right. There is a right way to do things, and there is a wrong way to do things. And Dr. Starline always does things correctly.
You just keep telling yourself that, buddy. All right, here's one from Wolfie Girly Wolf Girl. I've been headcanoning a few songs from the Mad Rat Dead original soundtrack as being some possible theme songs for Rough and Tumble, in which I have made a small list of down below. If you have the time, tell me your thoughts.
Wolfie Girly Wolf Girl lists off Rat's Dream, Cheddar Chaser, Drain, Electro Cutie, and Underground Hug, which I have not had a chance to listen to, so I am completely in the dark here. I haven't even heard of... Is this a game? Is this an anime? What is this?
Mad Rat Dead. Yeah, I don't know, actually.
Okay, so there's research I need to do.
Oh, it is a game.
Is it a game? Okay.
Yeah. It's on the Switch. Okay.
Okay.
I did see this. It's a rhythm platforming game. Interesting.
Okay.
Interesting. With a very angry looking rat. Cool.
I mean, if your headcanon fits for you and that makes you happy, then I am not going to argue with it.
Oh yeah. Coming up with playlists for characters is fun. I have a good time with that sometimes. So, yeah. Go nuts. Here's a question from Many Hats. In Force's English script, Sonic is said to have been fighting Eggman for decades. In the prequel, the resistant soldier has heard about Sonic and his pals his whole life. Are the cast canonically ageless beings? At this point, that makes more sense to me than all the games being within the span of 1 year.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Um, I don't have a canon answer for you. That's just sloppy upkeep of the narrative. That's all there is to it.
What? No. They'd never be guilty of that. Here's the one from Andrew D. What is this about there being only one world now? If that's true, I know you mentioned that during the book's run so far that we simply have not seen any human settlements, but that makes me wonder why there has seemingly been no interest in rescuing any human civilizations among the Resistance during the Metal Virus saga. Assuming there is one world, do the Mobians not like the humans and simply left them to fend for themselves? Or perhaps after Windmill Village, Eggman infected every human civilization before continuing with the rest of the Mobian civilizations, leaving no human survivors whatsoever? Help me by making sense of no humans existing at all in this worldwide metal virus pandemic.
Well, again, we can't see the whole world. Like in Sonic Unleashed, there's what, 8 stages? Can't remember off the top of my head. That doesn't mean there's only 8 nations on the planet. It just means those are the ones we visited. And in the Metal Virus saga, we didn't see West Side Island at all. Does that mean West Side Island doesn't exist in the comic? No, it just means we didn't go there. We didn't see every settlement. We didn't see every single effort by the Resistance. You can't do that.
That's the narrative excuse, at least.
Yeah, right now we've been asked not to utilize any of the human elements. That might change down the line. But, just because we don't see it doesn't necessarily mean it's, not addressed somewhere out there. That can always be retconned in later. So the reason why we don't have humans is we've been asked not to show them right now, but they're around somewhere and just we haven't gotten to them yet.
They're around somewhere. They all went on vacation. That's what happened. The humans went on vacation, and then all of a sudden they're all just going to come back. Or maybe they got Thanos snapped. So, is it true that it is confirmed to be one world now?
I can't really talk about that.
Okay. I mean, the implication is there, but Scruffy Matt has a question. So how about that Sonic 2 movie poster, huh? I love it. I'd been hoping they'd recreate the video game cover for the movie poster, but this is just chef's kiss. That got me thinking, though. Which Sonic video game covers do you think would look best if recreated to be posters for the Sonic movie series? Sonic CD, the US version.
Trying to remember what that one looks like.
It's Sonic versus Metal Sonic, and Metal Sonic is holding up a time stone, and they're like,
is that the US version? I thought that was the European version.
No, I think that's I'm pretty sure that's the US version. I thought. Oh, okay. Hold on, let me see. Let me check. I really thought. Yeah, that is the US version.
Okay, what do I know?
No, I think the European version is just them face to face. But the US version is the one with Sonic is holding the time stone, not Metal Sonic, but yeah. Yeah, okay. That would look awesome. That would be amazing.
I don't know, it's hard. I'm honestly having a hard time thinking of a lot of the box art. And usually that's to show off a game element or something about the game itself, where a movie poster I think is more to get excitement for the story in general. I know that's splitting hairs, but I don't know if a lot of them would work. The one that immediately comes to mind is the Sonic 3 box art.
Yeah.
Because that one I almost feel like is styled like a movie poster. You've got Eggman coming in, setting fire to things. You got Tails swooping in. You got Knuckles peeking in from the bushes.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping we'd see that would be kind of what they modeled this movie's poster off of, to have just Knuckles' eyes visible in bushes behind Sonic or something. But I still like what we got. And actually, There's been a few other ones now too. The ones with Sonic and Tails in front, and then Knuckles is like huge behind them, looming over them. That's pretty awesome. Sonic and Knuckles box art, you could almost literally just take that. Yeah. You could literally just take that and use that as the poster without any changes and as a movie poster, and it would still work. Yeah.
I am ashamed that one didn't spring to mind, because that is a sick piece of art.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like the only one I can think of really. Not Sonic 3's European box art because that looks weird. I'm sorry. If you have nostalgia for that version, I'm sorry, but it's not great. I'm also being told Sonic Adventure 2's box art, which would be
That's
there's
the
a
one where
few
everybody's-
different versions of that because there's Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, which has everybody on it. Otherwise, the Dreamcast version is just Shadow and Sonic back to back. But
That being said, if they do bring in Shadow for like a third film, that would probably be the selling point.
right, yeah. Oh well, I would be into any of those. I'd be into any of those really. It would be cool to see. But I also like what we got for the poster now. So who knows though? Maybe they'll do Sonic CD. Oh yeah, Sonic Schoolhouse. Yeah, they should definitely do one based on that. Yes. Do it. Here's a question from Nemric. Okay, holiday season time. Whisper and Tangle get presents for each other. What would it be? Also, does Whisper like Christmas?
Whisper does like Christmas. She likes the lights. She likes the general vibe of the season. She enjoys the little bit of winter cold. Tangle, she wants to like the season, but the problem is there's so many hanging decorations all over the place. She's kind of known for running into them and tearing them down.
Just keeps ripping them down, and yeah.
So she's a little bitter that she can't, quite zip around town like usual. But she likes the season in general. That, and she can launch snowballs like nobody else. Uses her tail like a trebuchet.
Wow.
Present wise, let's see. Whisper would get something small and sentimental for Tangle, something thoughtful.
Yeah.
She'd think of it, she'd hunt it down, she'd get it, she'd be done with it. Tangle would go through some kind of comedy of errors trying to get something big and grand and extravagant and cool, and she forgets what it is halfway through. And
I feel like she would struggle trying to think of the perfect thing, the perfect gift, and she would freak out and stress out about it.
And then whatever she gets for Whisper, she already has one of.
Yeah. Yep. I like it.
And her tail has managed to be tied into the wrapping paper, but by God, it's there on time.
She's trying her best. Yep. Oh boy. I'm here for it though. I want to see it. I'd love to see it. All right. Well, we are at the halfway mark, so we're going to take a quick break and then be back with more BumbleKast. And we are back with more Q&A action, starting with one from Dove. Wisps strike me as Chow 2.0. How would Tikal handle meeting them and learning they are used as weapons?
Tikal would get along with them fine, and I would imagine that due to her nature, she would be able to intuit what they are saying without any outside help. She would be initially shocked and horrified to learn that they're ammo for the Wispons, but the whole thing is that the Wisps themselves have to want to power the Wispon for it to work. You can't just cram one into the clip and go pew pew pew. They have to want to power it. So the fact that they are doing this to protect others and are willingly helping liberate and protect other people, she wouldn't like the idea of having to come to violence, but she would appreciate that it is within their agency to do so.
Nice. Here's one from PC the Unicorn. Due to seeing another debate, again, about if Batman should kill the Joker or not, it got me thinking about the climax of the Tangle and Whisper miniseries involving Mimic and Whisper. Spoiler alert, by the way, for those of you who have not read it yet. Why do you think Tangle prevented Whisper from killing Mimic? Like, what would you say is Tangle's thought process over believing that Tangle killing Mimic would cause her more harm than good, even though she knows that Mimic is a monster who doesn't regret what he did? Is it the usual, we have to be better than them, / you'll be no better than the villain mentality a lot of heroes tend to have? Or is it something different entirely that ties into the kind of person Tangle is?
I don't think she's so naive as to think you'll be no better than him, because she knows what Mimic is. She knows he's unforgivable and that he's dangerous. But to kill someone is a big deal. And I feel like a lot of stories in popular culture in general just kind of gloss over that.
Yep.
Like, even if it's justified, wholly justified, if you have every excuse to do so, the moral high ground, the legal reason, whatever, it's still a lot to do that. And if you don't think so, then we need to keep an eye on you. But I think that's more Tangle's concern, is that if Whisper had pulled the trigger, she would have to live with that knowledge, with that action. And Whisper is already kind of a broken person. You don't need to add more weight to that situation.
Right.
The triumph over Mimic and the closure of having brought him to justice is a more wholesome and positive reinforcing of things. The problem with taking the high road is, you leave yourself open to those who do not take the high road. That's something that Sonic has kind of dealt with in Metal Virus. And now that Mimic is out and about, that's something that I'm sure Whisper and Tangle will have to deal with eventually down the road. So we'll see how that plays out.
Alrighty. Here's one from the Shadow Emperor. Is there an official explanation for why violet wisps are still around in games like Forces? For that matter, are they and purple wisps still considered to be nega wisps? I've started questioning that in light of the black and jade wisps' similar design.
Yeah, this one drives me absolutely nuts. And it's something I flagged when working on the Sonic Colors cartoons, saying, it's cool that Jade Wisp is being added, but it's pretty clearly a Nega Wisp. And how does this work? And the reply was that, no, it's just a wisp. So I know how I would want to tackle this, but that's very much headcanon, and I don't want to put it out there and cause confusion over, oh, well, Ian said this, and therefore it's accurate. I don't know. But from my understanding, it's just wisps are wisps now. I don't know. It bugs me because I'm a turbo nerd, and the whole Nega Wisp thing was presented in colors, but I don't know, maybe we'll get to it. Well, maybe we'll get an explanation of it down the line.
Here's one from Jams, aka Just Mountain Soul. Hey, Ian and Kyle, so ghosts are very much real in the Sonic universe. Pikal comes back as an orb to help an adventure, and we see enemy ghosts in Sonic 3 and Adventure 2. There's also the 3 ghosts in the Night of the Werehog special. With Sonic's mention of opening the gates of hell in Secret Rings, what kind of afterlife do you think exists in this universe? What makes you come back as a Boom Boo? And what makes you come back as a tutorial/hint ghost? I mean, of the two, I think I'd rather be the latter, kinda.
Yeah.
Although being the former might be fun too, but anyway.
Maybe it's the season, but I'm getting a very different vibe of A Christmas Carol all of a sudden.
Oh, yeah.
Jacob Marley just comes floating in as a pink ball. Ebenezer Scrooge! Ebenezer Scrooge! And DeCall's theme plays. That is a good question. And I don't have a good answer for it. Ghosts and the supernatural are fun, to be sure. But when you start tying it into the beliefs of the living, then you start kind of encroaching upon hallowed ground. Then you start getting into like religion and philosophy, and that can be a touchy subject for folks.
Yeah.
So that is definitely a great question and one that I want to chew on, but it's not one that I think I can just spin off the top of my head, you know? I think that one might need some time to percolate. Now, from what little we've seen, and if we're going to group it all together, like with Tikal and La and presumably the other two, I forget their names off the top of my head. Uh, there seems to be a degree of unfinished business keeping them around. At least, like Tikal especially, she's keeping a weather eye on Chaos to stop him from running amok. She has been his jailer consistently to protect everyone else. And La seems to be at least clinging to a degree of childish happiness with all the photos and pranking people and whatnot. The other guys, I don't know, they seem to just maybe they simp. That's what keeps them from shuffling off this mortal coil entirely. But as for the what are the ones in Sonic 3 called? The Hydruro? I'd have to look at the encyclopedia to get the exact name. And King Boom Boo and all those, are they just angry spirits that have endured? Are they corrupted spirits? Is King Boom Boo a malevolent force? I don't know. There's a lot to explore there. What was that horrible thing that was in the castle and shot of the hedgehog? Where does it go? Pumpkin ghosts. What are the pumpkin ghosts? Are they people who are they trick-or-treaters who wandered too far off the road? I don't know. That it's something I would love to explore at some point.
Here's this one from Off. Now that the new movie and game trailers are out, I just wanted to ask, don't you wish we'd get some new Mega Man news? Wasn't there talk about a movie or a series recently? A new game would be damn nice too.
Yeah, apparently they're making a live action Mega Man movie for Netflix? ?
Well, considering how their last live action adaptation was received, I'm dubiously scared.
Maybe they took their cue off of the Sonic movie,
Yeah, I hope so.
We have proof of concept that if you remain at least fairly authentic to the source material, it reaps.
I would rather it be an animated something, honestly. I don't know. It's just, I don't know, man.
I mean, it might be like one of the MCU movies where it's so animated to the point that where there's so much CG that it's basically an animated movie, but
maybe, yeah. Maybe.
Game-wise, I would like, how did Mega Man 9 do? No, not 9.
You mean 11?
Yeah, there we go.
I'm pretty sure it did quite well.
So
they're probably working on something. They're probably working on some kind of follow-up. I do hope that they revisit the X series at some point.
Man, what I would not give to do the bookend X. Mega Man X9, just wrap it all up, explain the bridge to Classic, and set it up for like an Elf Wars game or something.
Yeah. Something like that. We do need to flesh that out. I feel like it's something we've just been sitting on for a long time. All these long stretches of time in between the different incarnations of Mega Man. So to connect them together would be really cool.
On the one hand, I hate to tie a bow on like Classic and X because there's always the question of, well, what more stories can you tell? What other adventures can they go on? And I get that, but these stories and franchises are so long in the tooth now.
Mm-hmm.
I would almost feel more satisfied to have them get a nice, solid conclusion and then to do something new with the franchise. Another Battle Network, another Legends, another something just new Mega Man. Classic has run its course. We're done. We got our happy ending. Let's do something new with the brand instead of let's wait 5 to 10 years in between installments and hope that the continuity sticks between the two,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well,
I'm not saying that's the way to do it, and I'm not saying I would be super satisfied myself with that. That's just a thought on the subject.
Well, maybe Capcom will take some inspiration from Sega again at some point. Eventually. Not too much, though. Sometimes you gotta temper it. But sometimes, maybe a little bit of inspiration. Right here, we have a question from Radri. Have you ever received a piece of criticism that you felt really helped you improve? This could be art, life, auto repair, gaming, cooking. I'm more curious about the art criticism, by the way, honestly.
Oh, sure. Like my first couple editors. Shout out to Mike Pellerito and Paul Kaminsky. Paul specifically, who just became senior editor of the Superman brand over at DC Comics. Go, Paul.
Wow. Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Very
Congrats
good.
to him.
Very cool for him.
I learned a lot under them, which isn't to speak ill of like Vin or Joe or David or anybody else that have been my editors, but I grew the most as a writer under them. Just learning the craft, learning the structure of it, learning how to pace things out, how to grab your reader from the beginning, how to hook them at the end so that they come back next month, how to just pace yourself throughout the book so that it isn't too wordy or you lose the pacing because you need to explain too much or the action sequence goes too long. Everything between the two of them was me learning and growing. I can't really nail down one thing because it was everything. It was the entire process. It was me learning and growing under their guidance. So once again, shout out to Mike and Paul. Thank you guys very much. I don't even know if you listen to the show.
Nah, they're busy.
Cooking is the only one where I feel like I've grown the most.
Mhm.
And I would dare say most of that is just guidance from my wife, Aaliyah. She had a much broader palette and greater experience. So, little things like, how about you season the food?
What?
Or,
Crazy.
pair things together.
What?
Or, watching Chopped or other Food Network shows and, listening to these people who know what they're doing and how they approach putting together plates and what works together. And it's like, oh, okay, so there's kind of almost a science to this.
Yes.
And now I would dare say that I am a decent cook. Like, I'm not going to poison anybody. I could actually make a meal that people would not only be able to eat but might also enjoy.
I think you should look to Ava Arctic in the Discord for inspiration, because yeah, she has some interesting thoughts on food. This is a joke, by the way. Do not talk to Ava about that. Talk to Noni, though. Noni actually knows what they're doing.
I'm seeing a lot of reactions in the chat, so I'm just going to let that play out and go on to the next question.
Yeah. Ava's been Ava's been doing some stuff in there. We have fun in there. Patreon.com/BumbleKast. You can join us. Actually, Ko-fi works too. Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast. Check it out. This question was also directed at me, but I actually had a hard time coming up with anything specific. I've definitely been criticized, for sure. And rightfully so. I'm my own worst critic, to be honest. But, I mean, I'm trying to think of like one specific thing. It is probably like a teacher somewhere at some point who told me about something that that really helped me. I think there was just a lot of... I did get a lot of feedback and stuff when I was on... this is going way far back. Like high school newspaper, my teacher in that, she was very nice, but she was also very critical. Actually, remember, I wrote a news article, and it was bad. It was not good at all. And it was rightfully rejected. And but with a lot of help and critique, and actually we kind of brought the whole class in on it. We were coming up with ideas of how to make it better and how to approach things differently, and I learned a whole lot of new stuff then. And ultimately, that article ended up winning an award for the state. So that was cool. That's like one big thing I can think of where it was like something that really helped me kind of realize that I changed my approach to things. So yes, I actually was a journalist, by the way. I've been someone claimed someone. There's been someone who claimed I was a journalist. I have not been a journalist recently, but at one point I was. So that's all. That's like one of the things. That's the first thing I can think of. Otherwise, yeah, that's all I got really. But that did help me understand and also respect journalism as a thing more, because I think really it's not these days, and there's definitely a lot to be critical about. But yeah, it's a thankless job, honestly. So one reason why I'm not actually doing it right now. Anyway, now I'm gonna go get pictures of Spider-Man. But first, you're gonna answer this question from Speedweed Ian. I ask you, from one verging writer to another, what makes a good villain to you? From the redeemable to the downright despicable, what villain do you think is by far the best one of them all?
There's no one size fits all. It's just one that's interesting and engaging. You know, someone that captures your imagination. Like, it doesn't have. I feel like a lot of people have confused the sympathetic villain with the good villain.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of that.
I mean, give them a motivation that is understandable, I guess. You don't have to agree with it.
No.
It just has to make enough sense for them to be behind it. And honestly, that's one of the reasons why I've dug the MCU's Thanos so much.
Yeah, that was the one I was just going to bring up was Thanos. Because, I mean, his motivation makes sense. It's bad. It's hideously evil. It's not good, but it makes sense.
If you apply any critical thought to it, it doesn't hold up.
No.
But his conviction to it is there.
Mm-hmm.
And he has a range of emotion. He isn't just single-mindedly bent. Well, he is single-mindedly bent on obtaining his goal, but there isn't one emotion through the whole thing.
He shows remorse. He shows happiness. He shows despair. He's not like, the only emotion he knows is just being evil. That's
right.
It's not his thing, really.
Now you compare that to Hugo Weaving's version of Red Skull, and he is like paper thin in comparison, but that's okay because it's Hugo frickin' Weaving.
Yeah.
He brings so much charisma and gravitas to the role that even though he is like a cardboard cutout villain, he's fun to watch because he is such an extreme evil compared to Chris Evans's adorable, completely relatable, good old down home
Boy Scout
goodness.
Yeah.
I guess, I mean, part of it too is who's the hero that you have them up against? What is it that brings them into contrast? As the saying goes, your hero is only as good as your villain type of thing. So, and the other way around, if you've got a villain who just doesn't sync with the hero of your story, or rather your protagonist and antagonist, so we don't get too tropey here, it's just the conflict isn't that engaging. So, what are some other good examples here? Like in the new DuckTales, part of the reason why Glomgold is so entertaining is that he's everything bad about Scrooge dialed up to 11. Scrooge is this eccentric adventurer who will go to ridiculous lengths to achieve his goals and increase his wealth, which is the exact same as Glomgold, but Glomgold will, tie a rocket engine to a shark, whereas Scrooge wouldn't go that far.
Scrooge has some level of morality that Glomgold does not. Restraint. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And he also actually cares for people, at least some people. He doesn't, and they're not just tools for him to get richer. They're, his family. He loves them. It's not like Glomgold, who will just only take advantage of people, and that's it.
Or with Sonic and Eggman. Since this seems to be a running theme within the show.
Oh, yeah.
They're both larger than life personalities. They both go big and they go loud. But Sonic is all about freedom, in the freedom of movement, protection of others so that they are free to do and live as they please. Whereas Eggman is all about control, restricting others, bringing them under his will so that only his vision is realized across the world. And so that stark conflict of freedom versus control is built into him right there.
Right.
And as the song goes, you and I are the same in the way that we have our own styles that we won't change. And that's true. That rings very true for both of them. It's just one is filled with evil and Sonic's is not.
Mm-hmm. That's the way I ain't gonna lose.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I ain't gonna lose. I forget the exact lyric now. Now I'm screwing it up. I'm sorry. I ruined it. Oh well, Ian, open your heart. It'll be all right. I wanted to bring up actually about this. A recent one, Silco from the Netflix series Arcane, the animated League of Legends adaptation. Fantastic show, by the way. If you've not seen it, I do highly recommend it. Does not matter if
my to-do list.
Does not matter if you have never played League of Legends. There is literally nothing that you won't get from it not knowing about League. You don't need to know. It's not required reading at all or required playing, but it's very good. But the villain Silco, he has a reasonable motivation. It's playing both sides of a political intrigue, and I am trying to be spoiler free. There's political intrigue in it because he's trying to play both sides, and to basically try and get the best for his people, but it's at the expense of the other people. So he's trying to do a good thing for his side, but the other side will suffer for it. So trying to be spoiler free, but I appreciate motivations like that because it's kind of understandable. It is sympathetic and it kind of makes sense, but he's also kind of a monster. He's also a terrible person and a horrible father, a horrible adoptive father, just outright ugly person, literally and figuratively. But it really does make him a good villain. And it's a freaking great show. I mean, damn, so good. Watch Arcane. All right, here's one from Sonic. One of the courses in Sonic R takes place inside a Chaos Emerald. Does that mean there is a universe inside the Chaos Emeralds? Do the Chaos Emeralds have a sentient consciousness like the Soul Emeralds do? Also, how do the Soul Emeralds not go insane from boredom if they're just lying around not able to move around? Does the course Radiant Emerald in Sonic R really take place inside a Chaos Emerald? Can you get official answers from Saga on these questions?
Last question first. No,
we've been over this before, but yes,
I can't remember now. Was Radiant Emerald supposed to be inside the Emerald? That sounds like some little factoid in the manual.
It probably is, but we can just pick and choose and ignore things anyway. So.
Yeah, we're talking like old school canon stuff that's malleable.
Yeah, and this is also a Western developed game, so
yeah,
I don't know how much influence Sega and Sonic Team actually had over what is depicted in Sonic R. I'm not sure.
Now, as for the will of the Emeralds, that's been brought up teasingly a few times. And it is implied that they seem to have some kind of agency, but that is not detailed at all. And it could be, now this is speculation, okay? Big asterisks here. It could be that they are kind of aware in this kind of divine being sort of way, and that they don't perceive time and existence as we do. If they are timeless creations of immense power, what as we perceive reality just may not register the same as them.
Mm-hmm.
So they may not really have an issue of boredom because to them centuries are like seconds to us. So I don't know. That's just me spitballing.
These Chaos Emeralds, man, they're weird. They're strange, and they've never been explained, really. Someone get on that. Here's one from Alphamon or Yukon. Are there any specific species of Mobian that you would like to introduce into Sonic's IDW world that you just haven't gotten the chance to? I personally would love to see more snake characters since we only have 4 in the entire franchise. Lyric, Trey Scales, Mordred Hood, and Crimson Cobra.
Is Crimson Cobra from Sonic the Comic? I'm not familiar with that one.
Maybe, probably. I don't know. Not sure. Sounds like a Mega Man X Maverick.
Yeah, it does.
Yes, he's in Sonic the Comic.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't really set out for species specifically. It's more of if we have a character, what would fit the role. Mimic kind of sort of makes me a liar there because Mimic octopuses are just cool. It's like, could we make that into a cool infiltrator character?
Yeah, but
Tangle,
there's also like exceptions to rules and stuff, you know. So your approach is not always 100% the same every single time.
Right. Like Tangle was not, lemur first then character. Whisper wasn't necessarily wolf first. Rough and Tumble weren't necessarily skunks to begin with. No, I do have my preferred animals. I love the weird and obscure critters.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly don't know how well a Muntjac would work in the Sonic style, but by golly, it would be fun to see one. That's the Asian barking deer, if you're not familiar.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, that almost feels a little too personally gratifying to me to say, I want to see this species specifically, so I'm going to create a character and inject it into the narrative just to tick it off the list. That's not wild. Now, if there is a character that we need for whatever reason, and it would make sense to make them a species that I'm particularly fond of, then yeah, sure. Incorporate that. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone. But there's nothing out there that I am like specifically looking to create just to have it.
Here's a question from Ava Arctic. So, with Whisper being a lone wolf after the Diamond Cutters fell apart, where was she staying when not on a mission? Was she just camping out in the woods, staying in a shack that acted as a hideaway, using the infinite rooms inside of Scooby-Doo's doghouse that is bigger on the inside than it is on the outside?
Wasn't aware Scooby-Doo had a doghouse. He's on the road so much. Yeah, she would just be camping out and hiding out wherever she could, kind of kept away from settlements in general. She wasn't really big on being around people anymore, especially since any one of them could be Mimic.
Mm. And here's a question from Pan Milche. You said that Dr. Eggman is not a romantic person, but what about Mr. Tinker? Was he interested in love at all, or was he too innocent and pure for that?
Oh, love can be innocent and pure. Love can also be dirty, but we're not talking about that.
Gross.
Especially with a name like Mr. Tinker, that can go real bad real fast.
Whoa! Hey! Whoa! Wow! Amazing! This is. I thought we canceled BumbleKast After Dark. Thought we were never going to do that, but here we are. Well, all right, fine, whatever.
Mr. Tinker, sure, I could see him being the romantic sort in that kind of saccharinely cutesy Lady and the Tramp style.
Mm-hmm.
Romantic, the music and the moonlight and the candles and what have you. And I don't know if it would be about him though. I could see him trying to play matchmaker in the town though, like someone who takes it upon himself to ship other people in real life.
Don't do that, please. By the way, that is unhealthy.
Yeah, that I can almost see as like a lost story. That's kind of funny. Is he thinks that these 2 people would just be perfect for each other, and he tries to go out of his way to.
That sounds like a.
Make things happen.
Once again,
like,
we
Mr.
have.
Tinker, could you just fix the door jamb, please?
Once again, you have written a Sonic Boom episode right here on the BumbleKast.
Purely innocent.
Eggman gets turned into Mr. Tinker somehow at some point in the show, and that's what he does the whole time. And he keeps shipping Sonic and Amy.
or he is the fix-it guy of the town. he hears that the local young couple that everyone was rooting for is on the splits, so he tries to get them back together.
Yeah.
Hijinks ensue.
Yeah. Oh man. That's cute. I like that. It's funny. All right. We have one last question, and it's from D-Gamma. If there were two guys on the moon and one of them killed the other with a rock, would that be effed up or what?
When a guy hits a guy with a rock in the sky, that is effed up.
Wow. It's a shame my internet connection died right before that you started singing that the first time. But now
don't worry. I made sure you heard it.
Okay, thank you. Now the people are demanding more.
When you're killed on the moon and your time is too soon, that's effed up.
It is pretty effed up. It is pretty effed up to kill somebody on the moon, man. I mean, it's pretty effed up to kill anybody in general, but especially on the moon. Like, that's rude, man.
It's a terrible place to do it, because where are you going to hide the body? It's not going to decompose.
Yeah.
What are you going to do, hide it there?
Yeah.
That's great when your oxygen tank runs out.
Well, you just leave them there. What are they going to do? Arrest you when you get back? Arrest you when you get back to Earth? Oh wait, yeah.
You don't really have a lot of avenues to run away,
unless you're Elon Musk. Then you're going to Mars, baby. Good, get out of here.
Then again, there's something satisfying and poetic in that you have reached the pinnacle of human achievement to leave our planet with advanced technology that allows you to sustain yourself in the infinite and unwelcoming void of space, and you kill your fellow man in the most basic monkey manner possible.
Wow. Even Aaliyah like that one.
This is one small step for man, one giant regression for mankind.
Come on. Don't insult the monkeys like that. All right. Well,
that's enough nonsense.
Yeah, don't go killing anybody on the moon, people. Don't do that.
None of that monkey business.
No. All right, we're done.
Not quite yet. We have to give a big thank you to everyone who supports us via patreon.com, ko-fi.com, or through being a YouTube member. We have nearly 100 people on the list, so my whole I do it in one breath thing ain't going to work at all.
Nope.
So big thank you to Daniel H., Alex P., James K., John B., Jennifer R., Robotnik Holmes, Samuel P., Sam Cybercat, Torchbound, Mike B., Coupling Crew 128, Duaz Diz Din, Diane W., Andrew D., Scruffy Matt, Dave M., Chris A. Sorry, I've got like a little floaty shadow in one eye, and it's making it hard to read. Salute Your Cat, Off, Sony, John M., J. Frost, Noni, Don B., Yami M., Lee H.K., Jib, Lisa M., Hero of Light 13, Chevelle, Ryan D., Piggy Bank, Blue Title Gamer, Tick Tick, Final Neil, Ben Wolfsbane, Jonathan D., Ian Waffles, Invade Turbo Tunas, Rachel W., Fiona M., Godzilla, Chaos Universe, Sonic Legacy, Dadler the Dalek, Daniel B., Fire Red XY, Sonic, PC the Unicorn, Red the Supernamic, Dove, Pandolce, Carlos, Joe S., Chad, Preston M., Jennifer H., Chico D., Alphamon or Yukon, Spark Z., Les, Chase L., John the Real Waluigi, Sapphire Scarletta, Ava Wolf, Noah S., Owen BD, Deltarune, Jerry, Kojiro Highwind, Nemric, Professor Rye, Red Wolf, Cameron H., Kimiko, Turbo, Callan Q, Crooker, Radry, Zenderoni the Painter, Lewis J., Just a Mountain Soul, Alex the Border Collie, For Sonic Fan, Ian Zephyr, Maddie H., Techno Cinema, Scott Skunk, Bob J., Solaris Stain, The Koi Boys, Strawberry Cheesecake, Scurvy Pirate Hog, Wolfie Girl, Wolf Girl, and Mini Hats, and the Shadow Emperor.
Wow. Amazing. Also, Ian, seeing shadows in the corners of your eyes is bad. You might want to go get those checked out.
I think I just looked at the light a little too long.
Oh, okay. Sure. Yeah. Were you looking up at the sun? That's not a light you want to be looking at.
No, and it certainly isn't promising Maria revenge. Back
Oh,
off.
oh, oh. All right.
This is the ultimate stigmatism.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. All right, we're done. Officially, we are done. We are out of here. We'll see you on Wednesday.
Yep. Thank you again, everybody. New subscribers and old patrons and otherwise. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other, and we will see you next time.
I read your question, Digama, and then all of a sudden, the internet died. Turns out the Sega Ninjas were coming for me, not for Ian. They failed, though. So, I don't know what happened. You've been listening to the BumbleKast, a co-production of Bumble King Comics and the KNGI Network. Original theme music composed by Ken Coda Snyder. Remixed intro by T-Lopes. Find out more information, along with podcast feeder links, MP3 downloads, and more at bumbleking.com and kngi.org.
The last 2 years have been so shit. It's like all of a sudden here, have all the positive reinforcement in the world. And it's like, okay.
Yes, you are absolutely deserving of it. I mean,
stop. I can't handle it anymore.
I know. I'm trying not to, but man, it's really cool to see too. It's like, holy it's like even my tweet about it kind of got a little out of hand. It's like, what's going on here? Damn, you guys. But yes, I mean,
chat, calm down.
Would you prefer we say bad things about you?
The worst I saw was somebody saying, I've had critiques of your works in the past, but still, I know you can do good work. So I am, excited for you for this opportunity.
Well,
it's like, that is the most grounded one yet. I mean, there was somebody who said they were disappointed that they didn't get back the writer for like SA2.
Yeah, there's been a few people who've been saying that. Yeah, they've been saying that since SA2.
But half the time, those are coupled with, I wish they would come back with me, and it's like, okay, so here we are.
Yeah.
Here we are.
It has been a wild ride over. Yeah, I didn't really expect it to blow up that much when it came out with the news that you were, writing a game. I've also seen some people who are still they don't believe it. Yeah. They're like, I don't know, I'm not going to believe this until Sega puts out a statement, official statement. I'm like, well, they pretty much have. So